Hey everyone. Now lately I've been dealing with silly bitches, but not you, Tiana. But I've been programming a 3D spectrum analyzer, and I'll give you a bit of a look at it, but that's not what this video is about. But I'll just show you that briefly anyway to see how far I'm getting with it. I've just got the camera pointing to the monitor because sometimes the capture for GL gets a bit funny. But you can see what it is. It's basically just a 3D spectrum analyzer. That there is 5 radio stations, just 2 meg of RF bandwidth. And you can clearly see the DC offset in the center. Now there's a million things wrong with this, but it's a long way from finished. But here I'm just injecting a bit of a signal. If I turn the gain up, you can see this here that just popped up, so you can get down there and have a look. And as I move the frequency of that around, you'll see that sort of traces it along. But as I said, it's a long way from done. The colors aren't right. There's a million things wrong with it, but that's what I've been doing. Okay, so that's that. But today, what I'm going to try and do is something a bit crazy. I'm going to try and make an ergonomic keyboard, because I was sitting here on the couch with the screen in front of me there because it's comfortable. And when I get all set up, get the couch, get the recliner going, cushion behind the head, and you type away. But the thing is, this keyboard's not real ergonomic. I've got 2 here. One's wireless and one's wired. Don't ask why, I just do. The thing about it though, is if I'm sitting here, the keyboard's only that big, and obviously my hands have to be on the keys at about that distance. Now this is in no way comfortable, because to do that with your arms just isn't comfortable. On the couch, my arms want to be out here on the armrest here. So I tried something the other day which worked out quite well. Okay, so what I tried, and it worked, was I was reclined back here, and I had one keyboard for one hand and one for the other. So obviously I can type, and the keys that I use the left hand for I just do on this keyboard, and same on the right one over here. So it works quite well. It works quite well. And also, if I use the shift key on one keyboard, it still works. You know, if the keys on the other keyboard, like shift on here and capital something over there. So that works. So what I thought I would do is I've got 2 of these keyboards here, and I'm going to try, cut them down the middle, and make one for the left and one for the right. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Right, so first thing first, I'm going to pull this apart and see how it actually looks inside. So I'll just pull the 1,000 screws out and then just rip the plastic apart. Right, now all the screws should be out, maybe. Okay, there's a keyboard. This is cool. The old days these would have fallen apart, but to keep it somewhat captive. So that's what I'm going to cut in half from F5, 5, 6 TG. Hang on, I'll figure that out later. This is what I'm more curious about, to see if I can even do this. So this, for now, and there went something. A bit of plastic. So this is the pad that the keys push down. They just push down, and those little bits of floppy stuff there. And it should join one of these to another, like a switch. So that's it. This, I don't know how this is going to go really. This bit up here is the controlling part. So it goes in there. Just transmits it out. So this is why I need 2 keyboards, because I need that for both of them. So what I really want to see if I can do is somehow fold the bits over that I don't need, and then stick that on the left side. So the right side keyboard should be easier. But as I said, this whole thing might go tits up and not eventuate, but I'm going to see what I can do. Okay, so I'm going to keep F5, 6 TGB on the left side. Hopefully the F6 will be right on the right side. I don't know if you can actually see any of this on there, but I've just marked the bits I need. So the bits I don't need, I still have to keep this whole circuit in place to go to the transmitter. But what I'm thinking of doing is just folding that under and back a few times, essentially. So that is what I'm going to try and carefully do. Alright, so I'm going to try and fold this. May break them, may not. This is a dumb idea. Why the fuck do you people watch this shit? Honestly, I don't know. Crazy. All right, there we go. I'll chop that keyboard down there. And, see what happens. Right, it's just a bit rough to try this. Now this has got this thing here. This is going to have to come off. I've got to power this from there. It's like I could cut the whole battery thing out and take that with me, actually, rather than finding a new one. That's what I'll do. I can't find my small side cutters, so I'm going to use the big ones. And I'm going to keep this metal that the other side of that screws into. So when I put it back together, I've got something to get into. I'm going to need that as well for it to bite into. This is going to be rough, but that was known from the start. There's a control unit for it. That's it. Oh, that's the antenna, by the way, in case you're interested. That little squiggly bit in the circuit board. Don't know if you can see it, but right, that's that bit. And as I said, for the thing to screw in where these contactors are, if they're ever going to line up again, shit, that has to have something to screw into. Because they just touch this, and then they screwed into the back of this. So I'm gonna cut this bit out as well. This is going to be hard for me to show you what I'm doing, but there is a little hole through both of those that lines up with a pin on this to guide it in. So it's good that I use that same thing. So that there should line right up. If I put this circuit underneath where it was, line that up with those pins, put the lower one of these down. It was a funny angle. Okay, well, that's suitably stripped the thread of that little plastic thing, so that's a nice one. Alright, so there's a shortened keyboard. I'm going to give this, oh hang on. Okay, won't be needing these keys. Put that there, see what happens. Alright. I'll put some batteries in this and try it on there and see if it's a night for miracles. Alright, I've zoomed out a bit here. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, but it does. Oh, that'd be the tab key. It's just shot over there. So what's here? Q, QWERTY, and all those keys. Seems to work. It's still on track. Rough as guts, but it still works. So I can chop the keyboard in half, pack them in somehow, chop the keys down the middle, and stitch that together somehow. And that's halfway there. Right, I've just taken the insides out and put this top back to the bottom here. And worked out where I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to cut it down there. I just don't know how I'm going to cut that and keep it somewhat neatish. This should work. That side's crooked. I have to go this way. The blade won't make it all the way through. Shit. I must come close. Just didn't quite get through. I just have to see if I can do that as close as I can to where it's going to go. There we go. Now I'm just going to nibble some of this plastic out here from the keys that I'm not using to give a bit more space for all that folded up plastic stuff to go. Family short side cutters too. Okay, so there's half a keyboard put back together, but without the other stuff put inside. So it's just back to, it works. Like, if you can see the screen, caps lock's on. Look at that, beautiful. Everything, I think everything, and a space bar. Right, so that works. I'm just going to tidy this up tomorrow when I've got some daylight. It's getting a bit late here, but tonight I'll just do the other side on the other keyboard, which should be easier because all the electronic stuff is on the right hand side, so that should be much simpler. And then tomorrow I'll just tidy them all up and it should be done. Right, I've just done the other side, the right hand side, and I don't need this. Obviously that's the left hand keys that I just cut there. Now I'm about to cut this, but it could create a problem because I don't know if any of those tracks are actually needed for the keys that are still on here. So at a quick glance it doesn't look like it, and you'd hope that all the bits that are needed for the key to the right are still here since it came from the right, but I'm going to take a risk here and just hope that they're not needed. Okay, now I've put it back together, and guess what? Not all the keys work. Okay, that's why I made damn sure I recorded that bit, me saying that it was a gamble when I cut this without really checking it. But it was a gamble I was willing to take because I knew that could happen, and it did. So a couple of the keys work, H, J, O, very random here, and spacebar works, but it doesn't work. So that's that. But I had to try it, and now I know. So I wasn't afraid of trying it. Bit of a shit. It'd be nice if it did work, but I've got the left side that works, so I could still go back to doing that. Anyway, I might think about this properly in the future and do one, or we'll see if I can find one if someone makes one. But it would have been good. But anyway, that's that. Till next time, take it easy.